We always have a blast chatting with our guests about all sorts of different topics, but sometimes we go off the rails and dig deeper into their automotive and motorsports pasts. As a bonus, let's go behind the scenes with this pit stop minisode for some extra content that didn't quite fit in the main episode. Sit back, enjoy, and remember to like, subscribe, and support Break Fix on Patreon.
All right. So now what we'll do is we'll do this thing called a pit stop where we get to know you a little bit better. We ask you some off the wall questions and maybe elaborate on some of the stories and whatever you want to talk about. So you guys good on that?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we can wax poetic.
No, this is good. This is actually this is a really technical episode, so I like this. So one of the questions I had, and then we'll get to the real fun ones that Brad likes to ask. We've mentioned more than once on the drive-through, which is our monthly recap episode, about a gentleman in California who has gotten his Jeep stuck on a mountain biking trail. So I don't know if you had heard about this story, and if you didn't, Brad will elaborate, but I wanted to get your feedback on this particular Jeeper.
Do we know this particular Jeeper?
We do not, but we talked about him on our news, our news episode.
Like, which one of you two did it? No.
You got the green light to talk bad. It's okay.
No, dude, that's a constant story, man. These guys go out on those hill trails, and they just, oh God, they just dumb.
So this particular gentleman, Brad, do you want to explain in short how this worked?
This idiot went out and basically he took a bike trail instead, like a hiking trail, bike trail. You know, obviously it's not wide enough for even a side-by-side, let alone a Jeep Wrangler. And you know how those new Wrangler, like the JK owners get, it's like, oh, I just got myself a Jeep. I can go through anything. Watch this, hold my beer kind of stuff.
Yeah, four-wheel drive, bro.
Yeah, four-wheel drive, bro. And
it only works if all four tires are still touching the ground, though. When you high side the whole vehicle, it don't work.
Yeah. So he's on this bike trail, and he gets I don't know if he started early in the morning when it was dark or whatever, but he gets to a point where it's a cliff on either side, and it's about like 4 feet wide, and his vehicle is sitting at like that 35, 40 degree angle, about to fall off this cliff, and it's just parked there.
He abandoned it.
Somebody spotted it. Eventually, he got like a local Jeepers club with the help of a helicopter, went out and they helped pull the vehicle back. I don't know how the helicopter was involved other than spy photos, but the Jeep has been recovered. But yeah, what would you say
to lift it up and carry it?
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's what I was about to say. If you getting into the game of getting a helicopter to recover you, dude, can you imagine what the bill will be?
That's Operation Dumbo Drop territory right there.
Dumbo Drop.
Operation Dumbass Drop.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. Operation Dummy. Oh, see, these guys who do this stuff, you can't tell them nothing. You try to, hey man, it's probably not a good idea. No, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. I got 500 pound-feet of Torquems. All right,
it's like Hearst purse.
Yeah, I got Hearst purse. All right, bro, you go ahead and do that.
So icing on this particular cupcake is that some brilliant individual, and I'm not using sarcasm here, at Ford offered to go pull him out with a new Bronco.
Yeah, how did that go?
Well, he declined the offer. All right.
Yeah, I bet he did.
But can you imagine?
The ball busting will never stop.
So that led me into my next question. What do you think about the new Bronco?
I love it. Yeah, I feel so dirty for saying it because I think they missed a mark with me with going with an IFS on that thing. That thing is literally the size of an F-150, and it's an off-road vehicle, and y'all deemed it necessary to put an IFS on there. Now, look, I know an IFS can be worked with and can be a decent platform, but something of that caliber should have came with a straight axle. And I see it already. They're going to rip that IFS right the hell out of there.
So would you say that's the biggest disappointment, or the fact that it's not coming with a V8?
No, I thought it was coming with a V8.
Negative, Ghost Riders.
Why did I read that there was a V8 model? It's only EcoBoost?
That V8 will be when everybody LS swaps it and puts that solid axle under it.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes a Chevy. It takes a Chevy to make a Ford good.
Ooh, shots fired.
That's fighting words.
Some would say that about a Jeep because I've seen a lot of LS Jeeps running around. I mean, the LS is just a great motor. It can either be in a sports car, or you can truck it, or you can buggy it, and it's perfectly happy.
It's an all-around. It's an all-around engine. Yeah, I will agree to that.
Just one of the greatest motors in history.
It is the only thing Chevy got right, but we'll leave that where it stands.
Yeah, get your ass down. Sorry. The cat is trying to jump up on.
I thought you were talking to Mountain Man.
I thought he was talking to Daniel.
Sorry.
They got the square body right.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. So,
but back to the Bronco, I think that's kind of where, who asked me that? Brad, about the technology versus utility. Again, I think Ford struggled. I'm pretty sure the research and development went in there and they were like, oh, what can we do with a straight axle? I'm sure somebody asked that question, but then a bean counter or some physicist was like, why do we need to do a straight axle? Independent is more controllable on the highway. It rides better on the highway, and we can still get a little bit of off-road utility out of it.
Well, do you think that was bean counter, or you think that was focus group related for the fact they know it's going to be a lot of like soccer moms driving?
Yeah, I think I was wrong in saying bean counter because honestly, a straight axle would have been cheaper to engineer.
I think you're not too far off the mark with the bean counter because I think the Bronco is actually built on the Ranger chassis, not the F-150, and I think that the Ranger is an IFS. I don't think the Ranger has a front has a solid.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, but the new Ranger is the size of the old F-150, so it's huge either way.
Yes, I've seen a few of those things running around. I can't believe how expensive that truck
is. I drove one when they debuted. We were down in Texas and we got an invite to go test drive one. I wrote an article about it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the Bronco where it's like, why does this have a 4-cylinder? Like put a V6 EcoBoost in it.
I mean,
that's a minimum.
That's the unfortunate trend because V10s are pretty much gone. Yeah, V12s are pretty much gone in certain sports cars. Now V8s are next because
ice motors in general are out the door.
Yeah,
Let's just face it.
Right? Pretty much, yeah. I think Ford sees that. It's unfortunate, but we're going to have silent cars here within the next 10 years.
So speaking of silent cars, have you put in your order yet for the new Hummer?
Ooh, now that, my friend.
I touched the nerve, I think.
I'm sorry. I like that thing. I like it. So have you seen the new Hummer EV commercial?
Yes, we were talking about it.
It crab walks. There are guys literally doing that now. They can make their buggy crab walk and, counter turn to like jump it around a boulder. It's crazy. It's crazy. No. so
that begs good Lord. So that begs the other question. Well, if he ain't going with the Hummer, are you going to get the Lyric then, the Cadillac? Because that's basically the same thing.
First off, I will never buy another GM vehicle ever again in my life. All because of the GTO, because Pontiac did not stand by that car whatsoever.
Because it wasn't a Pontiac. It was a Holden.
Unfortunately, they got rid of the best thing they had in their lineup. That and the G8.
Which was the HSV.
I still don't understand why GM shut down Holden.
Made no sense.
That was definitely where the bean counters came in.
Oh, come on. Hold on. I'll call her back. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries.
Yeah, you're fine.
GM's dead to me. Even though that new Corvette is interesting. I don't know how I feel about the new Corvette.
You don't fit in.
If you're 6'3" and I'm 6'4", we don't fit.
Yeah.
You don't even worry about it.
You should have seen me get into my buddy's ZR1. Oh, that was a show.
I think getting out would have been even better.
Dude, I'm up here, I got half the parking lot cracking up. Oh, I got in there. I was like, oh, let me turn around. I got to get in ass first. And then I bust my ear hitting that pillar. Didn't know I was bleeding, so I'm bleeding my buddy's $100,000 ZR1. And then when I shut the door, Dude, I was like, think small. He's 6'4", but fortunately, on the driver's side, they were nice enough to give more space to the driver. But me, I was done, dude. My leg was up against the door. I was smushed. And then I can tell he doesn't know how to drive properly because he's stabbing the gas in mid-turn. And I'm like, oh God, we about to go into this thing butt first. But anyway.
So since we're talking about new vehicles, what do you think about the Wagoneer? Being a Jeep guy.
I don't like it.
Really?
The front end looks like a lit up chandelier. Like if I want a chandelier, I'll go put one in my house. I don't need my car looking like a rolling chandelier.
I ain't got nothing. I mean, I can't fault that logic. I mean, it just makes sense.
Well, I was going to say his Mercedes doesn't have the lighted 3-pointed star on the front.
That is
you don't have that option.
That is the tackiest Mercedes thing in the world.
Nope, because mine is back when they used to make
where men were men.
Yeah,
back when men were men.
yeah, back when we were men.
So let me ask you this: you brought up a story about driving a JL off road. You want to tell that one?
No, I didn't drive it off road.
Oh,
so
okay.
Why my S8 had to be put in the shop, and I don't remember why. I do remember why, and this is going to be a good conversation. But anyways, they didn't have any loaners, so they sent me to Enterprise, and they gave me a yellow JL. So big ass black dude driving a yellow JL. Hey,
USS
girl,
yellow
hey. But anyways, I was shockingly surprised at how sturdy that thing is, because there were things about the JK that annoyed me, and I'm like, why did they do that? Why does this feel like this? And the JK, wanted to drift and stuff like that. But the JL is quiet. You don't hear a whole bunch of buffeting anymore in the roof. It's just a well put together vehicle. And then I started looking up under there, and their control arms are like, they would be upgrades for the JK. That's how beefy they are.
So what I'm hearing is, this is how it translated into my brain. Fiat got something right. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, if you want a really good American car, buy
a Fiat.
Italian.
As much as I hate to admit it, look, Fiat controls Jeep or Chrysler. I get it.
It's the best thing that ever happened to Chrysler.
Yeah, I think so, because you can see where their engineers,
He said because Hellcat.
Because Hellcat, yeah. And what's the new truck? The Raptor beater. The TRX.
It's not the Power Wagon. It's like the RTX
wagon.
or something.
RTX.
Like
that thing has 700 horsepower. What for? Why?
Because
who cares,
bro? Oh, I was like,
that is I'm telling you, I said this on another episode. When you walk into the Chrysler factory, there's a sign that says, "We don't give a shit. Send it."
Does it really?
I mean, seriously, they don't care.
Yeah. So I looked at the Hellcat. I started gooning over it a couple of years ago. I'm like, the white one with the black on white. I was like, man, look at that. I ended up getting a Charger as a loaner because my Commander was in the shop. And I was actually impressed at how well the Dodge Charger's mannerisms are, especially at high speeds. Like, I'm up here doing 90 and it feels like I'm doing 55. I'm telling people to move faster.
Especially, as Brad would say, for being a 400-year-old Mercedes chassis.
Hey, have you looked at the suspension? There is nothing American about that suspension on that.
No, not at all.
I have never seen an American car come with, what are the 3 freaking control arms and
oh yeah, the modular wishbone and stuff. Yeah.
I told the dealer, I was like, you know what? I want to go look at that Hellcat over there. And then the closer I got to it, my eyes, was analyzing everything. I'm like, does that really say 265/30? And this thing's got 700 horsepower? Dude, I'm going to be ice skating all over the damn place in this thing. And then, but it's Pirelli P-Zeros. I don't care if it's Jesus grip. You don't put that kind of tire on 700 horsepower. Are you kidding me? This is a joke, right? And then I'm looking at the sticker.
Them off-roaders got that Jesus grip.
Yeah, Jesus grip. I'm looking at the sticker. It says 88.5. And I'm like, okay, well, let me sit in it. And then I'm feeling the material. And I'm like, dude, y'all want $80,000 for a souped up police car. Plastic is for wrong. It's wrong how this interior is. And he was like, yeah, but the screen, damn the screen. Look at this material. Like I'm feeling all around and I'm like, nah, this ain't what I want. So I mean, it's a cool car, but yeah, I'm too hoity-toity now that I'm used to like S8 interior.
You bougie.
Because that's like my benchmark.
you basic now. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Which actually leads into one of Brad's great questions. So we'll do it this way. We doing the garage or we doing the $1 Million Man? Which one do you want to do, Brad?
Well, we're gonna do them both.
All right. This is the $1 Million Man question. If you had all the money in the world, what would you buy?
A house.
Well, a car. It has to be a car.
Oh.
Vehicle.
A houseboat.
Oh, house and boat. Okay. I was like, houseboat. Wait a minute. Ooh, for my car. All right. So for
and you don't have to be able to fit in it. This could just be the car that sits in your garage.
Yeah, because you also bought lipo and a couple inches shorter.
Yeah, but if I'm worth that kind of money, because I'll customize that bad boy.
Yeah, you'll pull a shack.
Yeah. Head right out the top of the roof. But I'm happy as hell. So Ferrari just released a vehicle that I don't know the name of it. I haven't been keeping up with Ferrari in a long time. But man, the angles on that bad boy, and she's blue, red with that orange or yellow Ferrari emblem. You know which one I'm talking about? It's got like the really swoopy headlights.
Oh, is that the 812? Is that the 812 Superfast?
I think that's it.
It's got the 2 round lights in the back like a Ford GT.
Yeah,
the 812 Superfast.
Oh my gosh, that thing is gorgeous. Yeah, I would get that for my truck.
We're diving right into a 3-car garage now.
Yeah. My truck would be that the GMC. Hold on, guys, because I think I plugged up the wrong charger. My phone. There we go.
Well, you said no more GM.
No, I'll make an excuse for this one. It's that giant. It looks like a Tonka truck. It's that giant GMC.
The Kodiak or the top?
Kodiak. Yeah. I'm taking up 4 freaking parking spaces. I'm a great asshole, but you can't tell me shit.
So you wouldn't do the 6-wheel G-Wagon?
Oh yeah,
you wouldn't do the 6-wheel G-Wagon pickup?
I got the 6-wheel G-Wagon pickup.
I saw it was so cute.
Hold on.
That was some trick photography right there, man. That was.
I don't know where it is. It must still be in my car, dude. This thing comes with a front locker, center locker, and a 2 axles lock. Like it can crawl.
On an RC? Really?
Yeah. And
that's bonkers, man.
Too. It's got a high gear and a low gear. Best $1,200 I've ever spent.
Dang.
Yeah.
So the $1 Million Man question leads into this infamous 3-car garage. It's usually on an island or on a racetrack or wherever you want it to be. And there's all these variables involved. And people have gotten very creative with their answers. So you kind of gave us 2 already. Would there be a 3rd vehicle in your 3? These are the 3 cars you would live with the rest of your life.
The rest of my life? Man, what kind of question is that?
Yeah, man. If you could only have 3 cars, that's it. What would they be? Or 3 vehicles? I mean, you can go back. You can change up your answer because I led you into this. You can change them out now. So what would be in your 3-car garage?
If it had to be a permanent vehicle, I'm kind of liking that Lucid Sky. Can I get my updates with the Lucid? Do I still
how good your Wi-Fi is?
It has to stay in place as is. Because if I can get my updates, I think I can survive. Like, did I get my candy cane OS on this thing?
Got that Fruit Ninja.
I think Tanya talked about the Lucid. That's like the hot underdog EV right now because it's a bunch of guys from Tesla that got mad and went and started their own thing.
Look, man, I've been drooling over the Lucid for about a year and a half now, 2 years, and they're finally about to release it. I think that's going to be a game changer. Tesla's already adjusting their prices.
Yeah. Like, you like that Cylon front end?
I think that is I think that's super dope. I'm finding out that I have a love for any vehicle that has like animated headlights. I love how the Hummer has the charging lights that kind of like have the sequential charge on it, kind of like I'm charging my phone, I'm charging my Hummer, and they both have the sequential charging light.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you think off-roading is going to be the last motorsport to go EV?
I don't think so. First off, I don't know what Tesla was thinking with the Cybertruck, but I think the Hummer is going to be a good test bid, and I think it's going to be an honest shot at being a smart off-roader. Now, I'm not a big fan of super air suspensions because that's what it has. Like, this thing is going to be able to raise the vehicle up 10 inches or something like extract mode. What the hell is that? It will be able to fit 40-inch tires without an upgrade. That's big to me.
Oh, yeah.
What vehicle that can do that? And then you are now effectively getting away from the complexity of axles because it no longer has a center axle. It has traction motors. So it doesn't need a locking mechanism that can fail on you to actually simulate lock. Like one motor can literally just walk the vehicle up the hill or whatever wheel has the best traction, or they can lock them together without a physical lock. Like, mind blown right now.
That all comes down to amperage or wattage to each electric motor per wheel.
Yeah.
So I think because the electric engine's torque, I think off-road, it's going to be great because climbing some of those, especially the rock crawling guys, you put the gearing down on that low enough and it's going to be able to pull mountains.
Well, they're not even going to be geared. From what I understand, it's just a direct, I could be wrong. I need to do some research, but based on what I saw, I think the rear motors are coupled, but the front motors are individual. I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more research on that.
But as you know, in the off-road community, somebody eventually, once give it 10 years after they're out, they're going to find ways to put some sort of gear reduction in there, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like guys do with doublers and things.
Oh, yeah. Like a portal axle or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
So let's flip back to something fun. Sexiest car of all time, in your opinion?
I'm going to have to give it up to that. What's that car that just did 331 miles an hour?
Oh, yeah. The Tuatara.
Tuatara. Dude, they hit all the right angles on that bad boy. The Tuatara. Now, I don't know if you saw my post on Facebook, but I said something hilarious. I was like, I would have shat myself at 268. I literally would have dropped a dookie right there in the middle of the car. Dude, because like just watching how the line splitter start, it just became one line. Yeah. I'm like, how you realize how fast you're going? Let just a gust of wind, let somebody sneeze across the street. That car is done. And he did 331 miles an hour.
Allegedly.
Allegedly?
It's unverified.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of drama around that too. So Bugatti is still leading.
Out there. Guinness Book of World Records was out.
Yeah, but they said
they say it was unverified.
Correct.
They didn't verify it.
They had to do it multiple times, and the GPSs that they used were inaccurate, and there's a whole bunch of litany of stuff. So
they just got to do it again.
And then there's like some people say it didn't do 300. Some said it did 310. Some just said it 306. It didn't do 330
Okay, you're
at all.
a complete idiot if you don't think that car didn't hit 300. That man went back to the future right there before our eyes, and we're up here questioning, he probably didn't do 300. That man went to berserk mode. When the lines in the road become a solid line, you're going fast.
Yeah, no joke. So flipping the coin, ugliest car.
Pontiac Aztek.
Oh, that's funny. It's such a knee-jerk reaction, man.
That thing, that and its twin, the Buick Rendezvous. What were they thinking with that?
Have you seen the off-road version of the Aztek?
Well, there was an off-road version of the Aztek?
Yes. Okay, so
look,
like
it had Ripley bottle paneling does not make it an off-road vehicle.
I actually think that was on the American Top Gear that I think Rutledge showed up with it. And he put like some 31s on it that were knobby. And surprisingly, it made it look better.
But it's still front wheel drive. So it didn't help it at all.
That just goes to show somebody will buy something.
All right, let me ask you one more. All right, if you could have a beer with Clarkson, Hammond, or May, which one would it be and why?
Yeah, I don't know if I could take Jeremy Clarkson before I have to punch him in the eye.
You wouldn't be the first.
But he also makes me laugh, so I guess what beer?
I like how that's the important. Which beer are we talking about?
Well,
you gotta have a Scotch.
It would have to be a pale ale for me, but I don't drink beer anymore.
The important part.
Yeah, I don't know which. It would have to be some kind of pale ale. Like I can drink that, and it's strong enough for me to like ignore Jeremy's flaws.
Nice. I like that. That's a good answer. But no, it's always a good time when we get together, and it's funny because you've come and gone a couple of times from GTM and we've really changed over the years. And, we started as a bunch of track rats and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't necessarily for everybody, right? But I think over the years, we've really kind of broadened, we've taken the blinders off, we've broadened our horizons, especially with the definition of motorsport. But, you'd be amazed how many guys now are into bikes, how many off-roaders we have, all the different, motorsports disciplines people are bringing to the table and the stuff that we've been just going out of our way to do because, you can only make, let's use the joke, you can only make a left turn for so long, right? Before you start to get bored and want to do something else. So, it's been an interesting couple of years, and change and development and the personalities that come to the table. So, if you ever want to come back for a third or fourth time, you always have a home,
Well, I mean, I look at it like this. I never left. I just became inactive, and then y'all boot me.
Well, it's just the way we do it every year.
Yeah,
if you don't renew in December, then we flush the
you got to there. But yeah, exactly. I got to tell you, man, I've been a fan of GTM over the years. I mean, I've peeked in here and there. At first, it was a little difficult for me to understand and navigate and try to figure out how the forums work. I remember you talking about doing this kind of stuff way back when we used to work together. And then you finally made a website and y'all partnered up with all you guys doing this thing. And it's cool to see that this has evolved into what it is today. I swear to God, I'm actually going to come out and go to one of those meets. I really congratulate what you guys are doing. I think y'all are doing something that I haven't seen anybody do really, where you guys are tying in all the disciplines and becoming like a central point for people to sign up for stuff or expect to show up somewhere at a show, provide people a platform to express themselves in their experience. I think that's really, really dope. And I do enjoy listening to the podcast. I've been peeking in on the podcast and stuff like that. I wish I was there for the big man in a little car.
I know.
We'll have to do another one.
Yeah, it was a good episode, man.
Yeah, that was. I enjoyed that one.
We'll do an off-roaders edition.
It was 6'10" in the pod.
6'8".
6'8". I'm like, man, you just hating life. You can't fit in anything.
And you're always welcome to come up to the mountain to try out the logging trails I got up here.
Okay, all right, I'll bring her up there.
Yeah, so
Eric, it's always good talking to you, man.
A pleasure, my friend. A pleasure.
If you like what you've heard and want to learn more about GTM, be sure to check us out on www.gtmotorsports.org. You can also find us on Instagram at Grand Touring Motorsports. Also, if you want to get involved or have suggestions for future shows, you can call or text us at 202-630-1770 or send us an email at crewchief@gtmotorsports.org. We'd love to hear from you.
Hey everybody, Crew Chief Eric here. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Break Fix, and we wanted to remind you that GTM remains a no annual fees organization, and our goal is to continue to bring you quality episodes like this one at no charge. As a loyal listener, please consider subscribing to our Patreon for bonus and behind-the-scenes content, extra goodies, and GTM swag. For as little as $2.50 a month, you can keep our developers, writers, editors, casters, and other volunteers fed on their strict diet of Fig Newtons, gummy bears, and Monster. Consider signing up for Patreon today at www.patreon.com/GT Motorsports. And remember, without fans, supporters, and members like you, none of this would be possible.